synthetic division as a possibility to divide polynomials. So synthetic division may be used to divide polynomials if the divisor is linear and the leading coefficient is 1. Right? So if the divisor is linear and the leading coefficient is 1, we can use synthetic division. An example of that, polynomial divided by, let's just say, x minus 3. Right. Here, synthetic division possible. Where's the polynomial divided by 2x minus 3 here? Synthetic division is not possible. Once again, and the key part here that makes that difference is the leading coefficient. Leading coefficient is 1. Right, there we can see that it is 1. There we can see that it's 2. All right, so that's why with one of them, synthetic division does check off, and with the other one, synthetic division does not check off. So really important to understand when you can and cannot use it. So let's take a look at an example here. Anyone need another minute copying this down?
Yes, sir.
All right, let me know when you're done, please.
All right.
Okay. So let's divide. We have 4x to the third minus 3x squared plus x plus 7. We are dividing that by x minus 2. Synthetic division is really nice, y'all. Right. Once again, I'm going to do one problem on the test with long division, one problem on the exam with synthetic division. But notice that this is linear. Leading coefficient is 1. So whatever this number is, we just work with the opposite. Right. So the opposite is 2. Then we're going to look at the coefficients. Right. We want to know the coefficient of x to the third, coefficient of x squared, coefficient of x, and then just the number that stands alone. All right, so the coefficient of x to the third is 4, coefficient of x squared is 3, coefficient of x is 1, number that stands alone is just 7. Give myself a little space there. Couple things that I want you to notice here. Notice that we do have all of them. We have, in regards to degrees, we have x to the power of 3, x to the power of 2, then we have x, then we have that number, right? So you have to look at the biggest, because it was x to the third first, we show x to the third first, and then go down. X to the third, x to the second, then x. If the first one would have been x to the fifth, we have to show x to the fifth, x to the fourth, x to the third, x to the second, x, and then that. All right, this is where I want to make sure everyone pays attention, understands. First number just goes down. The numbers down here with that will always multiply. So 4 times 2 gives us 8. These numbers in here will always be adding them. All right, so we're adding -3 and 8. All right, we're adding those two, and we add -3 and 8. That gives us 5. Once again, the numbers below get multiplied. All right, so now we multiply 5 and 2. It's 10. And the numbers on the inside, we add. Add that is 11. What do we do with the numbers in the bottom? You multiply by 2. Yep, very good. We just multiply. Right, so now we do 11 and we multiply by 2. Gives us 22. And once again, these numbers in here, we just add them. And that should give us a 29. Any questions on those numbers there? The last number will always be the remainder. These are all coefficients. Right, coefficients and numbers. Right, the last one will always just be a number. These are coefficients. If the problem started with x to the third, now we're going to do that. We're going to just subtract 1 to it. So now it'll be x to the second. So that's 4, x to the second, plus 5, x plus 11. Remainder is 29 over our divisor, x minus 2. All right, so this is how we get that answer. Right, so the problem started with x to the power of 3. All we do is subtract 1. All right, we subtract 1. That gives us x to the second, right, which means that x to the second is going to go there. And then we just trickle down from there. After x to the second is x, and then the last one's just a constant. So you can see it's a lot nicer than long division. Any questions with this example here? Let's do one more example. Anyone need another minute copying this down? We have 2x to the third plus 7x squared minus 5. That's divided by x plus 3. So remember, we do the opposite of that, so it's a -3. And we're looking for, it starts with x to the third. Right, so now we are going to find our x to the third, our x to the second, our x, and then our number. So we look for these coefficients. What's the coefficient of x to the third? Should be a 2. X to the second would be a 7. There is no X. Therefore, that coefficient is 0. Our number is a -5. We know this will be the remainder. Any questions there? All right, now we just finish this up. Bring that number down. Remember, the numbers in the bottom always get multiplied. It's a -6. The numbers in there get added. All right, so that's 1. How we multiply? It's -3. We add -3. And we multiply, giving us 9. And then we add, giving us 4. Any questions here, y'all? Any questions? And now we can show our answer, which would be 2x squared plus x minus 3 plus our remainder over our divisor. Any questions with these examples? All right, so that finishes up that 5.3. Let's go ahead and take a look at 5.4.